This is for the assignment for class JMC602. This is assignment 1.1, video podcast and response. And this week we had a chance to look at 3 different podcasts / little videos. Starting it off first with Schoolhouse Rock, and they had unpacking adjectives. I thought that was a good refreshing course, just based on the way that we unpack adjectives, how we use adjectives in different ways, giving the reminder that adjectives are used to describe things. So, I think one of the ones that stuck out to me was they had a picture of a skunk, and it said that it was stinky. It's the way that you describe it, and it says it's used to help to compare things. So if someone is tall, someone is short, little things like that, and it can make adjectives out of verbs as well. So, they had a station and they made it stationary. So little things like that, so many different ways that you can create little adjectives. I think it was a good refresher on just, writing that we're doing in this course coming up for the semester. The second video was from Khan Academy, and it was based on run-ons and comma splices, basically stating that the run-on is 2 independent clauses that are together in a sentence without punctuation or conjunction, and how we split those up and how we differentiate those, as well as the comma splices, which is 2 independent clauses inappropriately conjoined by a comma. So for example, with that one, they made up 2 different movies and they put them in sentences, and they said that this comma was incorrect as it inappropriately joins the 2 sentences. So instead you put a comma splice in there to separate the 2 and go from there. And for the last one, I thought it was a pretty good one. It was a TED Talk by Shantavia Johnson, and it was the power of internet memes to show who we are today. One thing that stuck out to me definitely was the science of memetics, which is the study of what makes ideas and information spread. I didn't know that was a thing, the word metametics either, so that was brand new to me. So that's something that I definitely learned. And then talking about how memes bring us together. For example, they talked about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which is always a good thing as it raises awareness for ALS. And then they talked about things that may not be as good, and that's the Blue Whale Challenge. And the Blue Whale Challenge was a 50-day event where each day you do something that's more difficult and more harmful. And then by day 50, it actually talks about that people were actually committing suicide. That was the end goal of it. And there was like 150 people who confirmed themselves, who were confirmed dead by suicide because they followed that challenge. So not everything is always good. There's always different motives. But I think the big thing to realize about the whole way that the landscape of social media has changed, especially with sending memes and making videos, things like that, is that whether we realize it or not, we send them to people every day. Whether it's, because there's so many different things to send, but whether, like we learned this week, whether it's on Threads, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, I mean, the list goes on, Snapchat, of all these different websites that we can use that will create memes and that we can send back and forth to each other. So those were the main things that I took away from this week's podcasts and videos. I think like I said, we had a good refreshing course with these adjectives video, and the Khan Academy with the run-ons and comma splices, and I think the TED Talk just kind of topped it off as well as something that's kind of cool and things we learn about society in that way. But anyways, that ends this video for this week.